Hello, this is and I am Kitty Hollywood. Now, today's review is of a film that in many ways was the beginning of everything. It's RKO's 1946 creep fest, The Spiral Staircase. Produced by Dori Sherry, directed by Robert Siodmak. The music is by Roy Webb. The art direction is by Albert S. D'Agostino and Jack Oakey. The gowns are by Edward Stevenson, and the cinematography is by the incomparable Nicholas Musaraka. The adapted screenplay is by Mel Donnelly, and it's based on the novel by Ethel Lena White, Some Must Watch. It stars Dorothy McGuire, George Brent, Kent Smith, Gordon Oliver, Sara Allgood, Elsa Lanchester, and Ethel Barrymore. Oh, and Rhonda Fleming's in there as well. It's about a beautiful mute servant, Helen, who is living in a town where recently there has been a spate of murders of physically disabled women. This particular afternoon, the murderer has followed Helen home. Thunderstorms, candlelight, and dire warnings ensue.
I hoped you were never coming back. You'd run away. Leave this house tonight if you know what's good for you. You understand? Who's there?
Now, when I was about 13 years old, I was desperate to get my hands on a copy of this film. The local video store had it, but in beta, not VHS. So I prevailed upon a family friend to lend either his or his work's beta machine. Thank you. I was able to hire it, and that was it. I loved it. This film has everything. It has a serial killer. It has a heroine who cannot scream. It has a labyrinthine, spooky old house. It's got a souse of a cook. It's got a doctor who gets called away. You name it. So in many ways, it's the precursor to so many things. Now, it's been called by many people the best film that Alfred Hitchcock never made, and you can certainly see, especially actually in the interiors, think of the Psycho House interiors, there's got to be references to that. David O. Selznick bought it as a vehicle for Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman passed on it, so he sold it to RKO, and that was that, really. Now, I've said in a number of cases that a film couldn't be about the script. It's not really the case in this film, although, I mean, when you get to the reveal, there's not a great big, oh my God, moment, but it's not really a weakness, I don't think. And certainly when Helen is tearing around the house trying to stay alive, there is always a very logical explanation for her doing what she's doing. You're not there going, don't go in the thing, you're silly. There is always a very rational explanation for her behaviour. I mean, in many ways that's got to do with the performance. She's intelligent, she's empathetic, she's really beautifully and sympathetically portrayed by Dorothy McGuire. Elsa Lanchester and Ethel Barrymore, of course, are both absolutely amazing. George Brent, as always, is much like tofu, and he can take on the flavour of any film that he's in, really, but I tangent myself. This film is about the cinematography. Nicholas Musaraka, look, best known for Out of the Past, The Ghost Ship, Cat People. He was a master of black and white lighting, and the stories that he creates with his lighting, they strengthen, they enhance, they in many ways complete this film. Now, it certainly seems that Siodmak and Musaraka worked really well together, making the most of a film whose lead character didn't speak, and you get a lot of really beautiful imagery as a result of it. Now, there's a moment in this film, I like to call it the, oh, it's you, Cam. And to me, it's one of the earliest references that I've found really so far in my limited watching of this. I'd be interested to know if there was an earlier. Anyhow, the other thing I have to do is give a shout out to Roy Webb. Roy Webb and his beautiful work with his theremin in this film. He scored between 1930 and 1958 Over 250 films. That's around 9 films a year, people, so thank you. Watch The Spiral Staircase for Dorothy, for Elsa, for Ethel. Watch it for The Shoes of the Murderer, everywhere. Watch it for the cinematography. 10 out of 10.